Welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D. The entire goal of this podcast is to help you see that you have it within you to do amazing things. Here we are.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and so last night I did an office refresh. If you watch into my videos, you'll notice my wall unit looks a little cleaner. And I think it was the summer we were going through this little barrette thing. I don't even know how it started.
Well, people like to make fun of me because
Yes.
I use my barrettes down to the last limb.
And we got you this really large one a long time ago, so Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
That's yours. Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to take it home with me this time.
Yeah, please. All right, so let me do my little intro. Welcome, everyone. Deep Dive with Dr. D. Thank you for joining us. I am really excited for this one, as I am for all. But this one will be different for me and Rebekah because we actually have the kind of conversation we're going to have today on the phone a lot. We have conversations about, I say, life and living, about parenting, about recovery, about just life, right?
Yeah.
Funny stuff, serious stuff.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a first that we're sitting down like this, and all of this is happening. So this is my friend Rebekah Moon. We've known each other a long time, over a decade.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
13, 14 years at least.
13, 14 years.
Yep.
I met you through Ryan.
Yep.
And then we've been friends. Me and Ryan took a little break. We broke up for a little bit. And so we broke up for a little bit. And then we came back together, and we've been friends ever since. So you guys know me. For our viewers out there that will see this, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh boy, I didn't prepare that.
Nope, that's on purpose.
I didn't prepare that.
No, I know.
My name is Rebekah Moon.
Yes.
Boy, what do you want to know about me? Middle-aged widowed mom with 2 children at home.
Nice. I like it. Okay. What do you do for work? What do you do to pay the bills?
Currently, I'm a health promotion specialist at the local health department here.
Been there how long now?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years this month.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been working in public health-ish type for 8-9 years of some kind. So community organizations, community things.
And I don't think I've ever, it must be, it's your passion. Is it your passion?
Yeah. We'll get into that, right?
Yeah.
That grows and changes. And,
Yeah.
Public health is, right, the health of the places you live, work, and play, right? So that's where I'm excel. That's where I excel, right? That's where I want to be. That's where I want to have an impact.
And then you're alumni of Central, both your undergraduate and graduate degree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a journey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then we've had some conversations as of late about could it end up being Dr. Moon? Yeah. Okay.
I do like to tease sometimes that, when I forget to cross a T or dot an I, like, I'm a highly educated woman.
You are.
Sometimes grammar isn't the top of it.
Yeah. You're not the only one that struggles. Yeah. I had to finally, and it took me a while, succumb to, I actually hired an editor in my dissertation because I needed help.
Yeah.
And I preach about that now.
Absolutely. Listen, there's no shame in asking for help. Like, I need a second pair of eyes.
Yeah. And then, so personally, you're a mother to Luke, and Elliot came in, and he's your nephew?
Yeah, Elliot's my nephew.
Yep.
He's 17 now.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed getting to know him.
Yeah. It's funny, we went to Leavenworth yesterday, and a few things came up. Number one, Elliot will be with us a year on December 6th, so next Saturday. And boy, quite the year we've had, for all of us, adjusting and having a teenager in your home. As you know, Luke is a preteen, so,
yes,
we've had some of the things, but we're not doing all the teen things. So to have a teen in the house immediately is an adjustment.
So full-time mom now to 2 teens. Luke's 13, right?
No.
12.
Nope, 12 and a half.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Might as well be 13.
Right.
And work full-time and live a pretty full life, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's Rebekah, and good. So we have lots of viewers out there.
Yeah.
I thought this would be a good one. Yeah, you're fine. Okay.
My neon yellow jacket behind me.
Looks great. Let's dive into a question.
Okay, let's do it.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I have some notes in my
Not surprised.
digital journal app because
Nice.
I've contemplated this all week.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
When looking back, and I want to preface this for those that watch and listen who don't know, we lost Ryan in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you and Ryan had been together for how long to that point?
Just shy of 9 years. That was
9
like our
years,
official anniversary.
And you had a child together,
Yes.
Luke, right? And you lost Ryan to COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And it was pretty sudden.
Very sudden.
It was very sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember where I was when Tyler called me.
Tested positive on a Monday, and 2 Mondays later he was gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been 4.5 years.
Yeah.
4.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's a little background.
Yeah.
So when you look back on losing Ryan, what helped you keep moving forward in those early days when everything felt overwhelming and impossible?
Yeah. Boy, unimaginable, right? Like, I think that's the word of it. I think there was a bit of disassociation in and out, right? I would often think when people would say like, gosh, I can't imagine. And I'm like, me too. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine this, wouldn't wish it on anybody. But there was lots of things to do, as far as, his care, with the funeral home, with the hospital, all of those, details that you don't often think about. And because Ryan was, a 38-year-old man, right? We didn't expect to pass away at 38. There was a lot of details that weren't decided,
Because you wouldn't have those conversations necessarily at 38 years old.
No, right? No. And when you do, looking back now, boy, death really has a way of making you face your own mortality, right? And people want to pretend like those things don't happen. And I think in the early days, it was in and out of that. Right? Like pretending this isn't my life and then actually participating in my life. So that was weird. And because it happened so fast, there were so many pieces within that time frame, from the time, his last phone call that I had with him, transporting him to Seattle at 2 a.m. in the morning and hearing all of, the concerns and logistics of that, and then seeing him for the last time. And then like, now we're here. Right. And it was such a whirlwind that like, I couldn't even make sense of it, anyhow, I had a friend who came and stayed with me for a few weeks. And God bless her, because like she really ran interference.
I do this with names. It was
Stacy.
Yeah.
She really was helpful in running interference with other people because politely, right? Everybody.
No, I know what you're going. People say stupid shit.
Well,
and I don't mean say that, but people say things, and I talk about this in a lighter way when someone breaks up, we say things like, "Oh, you'll find someone else." But even with death,
right?
I'm actually looking forward to having Henry on. He's going to be on.
Yeah, I'm very. Excited
I'm sure does that running interference. So thank God you had someone. And it's not people don't mean well. People just are uncomfortable with the situation. 100%. They don't know what to say.
Right.
And so they say things.
Right.
And want to do things.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, you said it well, because as you were saying, you went like, I couldn't imagine this. Like, right. I think I couldn't imagine losing Katrina,
right.
Tyler.
Right.
I don't think anyone can. And you're the one walking through it.
Right.
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 Oof.
Right.
So you had Stacy come.
Yeah, Stacy came. She helped me stay on top of the to-do lists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we literally got a spiral notebook out of the
Wow.
office supplies, you know, the school
Yeah.
supplies that we had. And, you know, every single day we were making a list, like even so Luke started school.
Oh, yeah,
Ryan
that's
passed
right.
Ryan
That's
passed
right.
away on September 6th. I think school started on September 8th.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
Yeah.
1 or 2 days right afterwards. There was just a lot to do. There was a lot to do, and trying to have some sort of normalcy, you know, for Luke. And because I knew being at home, you know, like anyways, it was a lot. And it took a lot of courage for him to go to school, you know, and thank God for the counselor at his elementary school, Miss Benfield. You know, we had a relationship with her, and, you know, the administration at the time was just wonderful, you know, checking on him. Really, really wonderful, really well supported there.
So you had individuals,
Yes.
I'm sure, that supported you, family,
Yes,
and community.
yes.
And that, I say, this got you out of bed.
Yeah. Yes. And Luke,
Yeah.
you know, I said the disassociation piece, right? But, and I talk about it, a little bit later, but, it's the moments that you don't, right? It's holding yourself accountable in those moments. Like, just get up, you know, just do the things, and give yourself permission to not sometimes, you know, and that was hard. It was hard.
See, I'm just going to say that down. I couldn't imagine.
Right.
Because I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Ryan was working for Bell Sauce at the time.
Yeah. I still see his truck.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
I told you, I met the kid who has it.
I don't know if he's working there anymore.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I seen it parked over at Merritt for a little while.
Oh. Okay.
And I haven't seen that kid driving it. I feel like I saw an older gentleman driving it.
Maybe he moved on.
Yeah. Yeah. They were gracious, super wonderful to us. You know, like, even left the car parked at my house.
I remember you said that.
You know, for weeks. Yeah, they were all just really wonderful.
What are those material things that you see that still remind you of him?
Ugh, jeez. You know, it's funny. That was one of the things that you know, came across, you know, with just being distracted and busy and doing all the things, but it was like, I didn't change anything in the house for a long time. You know, all of his stuff was right where he left
How long?
it.
Oh
boy, it depends on what you ask.
That's okay.
I literally didn't clean my bathroom for probably 10 months because I didn't want his beard hair to be gone. You know, the toilet, yes, but like the sink and stuff like that was a don't touch, you know? And I joke, right? Because I don't know what you and Katrina, but like, it was like, get the clothes in the hamper. You know what I mean? But like, it was those moments where like, I think I left dirty socks and underwear on the floor at the end of my bed for months, you know, and pulled dirty clothes out of the hamper to sleep with at night, you know, just to smell them for as long as I could, you know, as long as the smell was there, just to have a touchstone, you know, and that idea of our house being a reminder, right, came up in a couple of relationships, and it was hard for me, and I had a big conflict with one individual who had expressed to me that it was hard coming to my house, but in my mind, it triggered something, because it was like, do you not realize I live here? Like, I come here.
It's that thing of
every day.
I couldn't imagine.
Right.
I live here.
Right.
Imagine living here.
Right.
This is my home.
Right. And if anybody knew Ryan, you know Ryan was a big man, figuratively and physically, you know. So he took a lot of space in the house, you know, and it was noticeable. It was very noticeable. It's noticeable now, you know, 4-year anniversary this year, but it's our 5th holiday season, right? Like, and 5th season going into things, right? So, the holidays, our anniversary, my clean date, his clean date, the annual,
moments in time.
Motorcycle ride we take, it's 5th of all of those things. And, how did we get here? Is the thought, like, how did we get here? Like, I can hear him walking in the house, preparing Thanksgiving this year at home reminded me so much of the moments that we had during COVID, right? Where everybody was home, and in a weird way, COVID's such a weird topic now, but I'm so grateful for those moments, that we were able to, have together, and make meaning of family and connection to each other, and the relationships we built deeper in that time,
All right. Thank you.
I just want to say,
please,
the journaling,
reading books. Yeah. What helped you?
Yeah. Reading books.
Okay.
I read books like, Unattended Sorrow.
Oh.
Who Will Cry When You Die? It's Okay If You're Not Okay. And my favorite that somebody had sent me, I think Julia sent it to me, was the Hot Young Widows Club.
Oh.
And funny story about that. When I went to get my, when I did a panel interview for my job.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in there, and this, Joe, gosh, God bless Joe. I just loved him.
Okay.
You get to go around and everybody gets to pick a question. And I had said I like to read as a hobby. And he's like, well, what book are you reading? And I had this whole moment, like, my whole body was like, are you going to tell the truth right now?
Oh,
are you going to tell the truth? And I said, I'm going to tell the truth. And I said, the Hot Young Widows Club. And everybody in that room knew my story, and
except him? Or did he?
Unclear, also? Actually, now that you say that. Yeah, unclear.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he didn't specifically. Yeah. Anyhow, that was funny. I was starting the 2nd year of my master's program.
Yeah.
So that was things to do. And then work. I went to work not even 2 months after Ryan passed away, full time. And then the widows groups on Facebook helped, realizing that even in the middle age, right, there's so much of life left, but it is not much different than those at retirement age who lose a spouse, right? You have your whole life shifting again. So, and then I've seen, relationships in their early 20s, right? Early marriage, like all of those things. So like, it's really not that different, right? At any time it sucks.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, what kind of kept you moving is those tasks that you and Stacy did, that she helped you with to do the next indicated thing.
Right. And Henry, God bless Henry.
Yeah, we all know that, and I'm looking forward to him coming on. But that community piece too, right? Reading, support groups, all of those things.
Connection to self and connection to outside yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
For sure.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. I've been in my Santa role here, so I'm almost like I'm looking at it. Let's see what we got here.
Glasses down a little on your nose then.
All right. You've had to navigate grief, single motherhood, work, and recovery all at once. What have you learned about your own strength through that journey?
Calendars and good intentions. I'm having this conversation with Elliot quite a bit. I have some neurodivergencies. Everybody in my house does, right? And you know how busy I am. Like we do things. And we do things because oftentimes they're already on the calendar. I think about during COVID, I think that's where I've drawn a lot of my strength, because I had a first grader, second grader at home, right? I also was in full-time school. And for a good chunk of that, I also was a grad student. So I was also working, all at home. I was working out, moving my body every day, serving 3 meals a day. And if anybody knows me, like, the adult chore that I hate the most is food. The grocery shopping, the meal planning, the doing the things, like, it's my least enjoyable.
Okay.
But all of those things were done because there was a time for every single one of them.
Where did you get that from?
Which part? The food?
The doing the mom thing, the taking care of yourself, the walking. Where does it come from? Where's that rooted from?
Oh boy. That's not on the questions, David.
Hey.
I reflect on this a little bit later, but I often have a sense of desperation, and I'm learning this year that it's not.
Well, hold on. Describe it. Because I almost feel a commonality a little bit. What's the desperation?
Okay.
Because I don't think it's desperation like, oh God, maybe it is. I don't know. But what is it?
Yeah, unclear, right? I think at one point in my notes, when I was thinking about it, I said, maybe it's anxiety.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really, right? But
do you get comfort in getting things done? Like
yeah.
doing the things you don't want to do, the shopping and the cooking, like when the kids are eating or they're full or that.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So is there some of that?
Sometimes, yeah, I think that's definitely the motivator. I think Luke oftentimes is definitely a good motivator. If it were me, I could eat smoothies, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
Like, because it's like,
when I'm an observer of parents, right? Like it's a huge thing for me. And you are like up there as far as a mom,
Thank you.
Like really high. Where did that come from?
Oh, a variety of places. My own mom, right? And we talk about our moms often. One of Ryan's favoriteest things about me was celebrating all the seemingly small things, right? That really aren't so small. And I definitely got that from my mom, step work, therapy, parenting classes,
So learning's important to you.
100%.
We talk about that. Like you read and you gather new knowledge and you adapt and you grow.
The more I learn, the less I know, David.
Where does that come from?
That piece?
Where's the why? Why do you do that? Because not everyone does.
Right. So that's the part of where the desperation comes in for me. And I still making sense of it, to be honest. I'm still making some sense of it because I have always, and I talk frequently with my sponsor about this and now my current therapist. Like there's a shift in your thinking when you say I have to change or I get to change, right? And I hate that corny, like I get to do the things, but really
it's powerful.
Like especially since Ryan died, right? Like I could have had 1,000 other choices, right? Like I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have to, finish my master's degree. Like I didn't have to.
And no one would have blamed you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It'd have been like, oh, well, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you chose to continue.
Right. So there's a sense of empowerment stepping into that, right? Like I chose to do that instead of that, right? And the saying,
and this wasn't planned. So where does that come from inside of you?
What part wasn't planned?
The choosing to move forward rather than just be a widow. Right. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah. I definitely don't wear as an identity, and some people from the outside who aren't maybe as intimately close to me have said that, right? Like wearing it as but interesting. It's an interesting thing. I think at some points in my life, it's because perhaps I'm running away from something. When our teenage years were, running away from our families and doing the things right. But then active addiction and, all of those things and then getting clean, right. And the hunger to want something different. Right. And, it has been that feeling in some aspects and some aspects it's because I want to change and be different. I've recently had a conversation with, a close friend of ours, and sometimes when I show up in the relationships I love the most, in a way that doesn't align with my morals and values, like I feel like crap about it. I don't want to show up like that anymore. I don't want to say those things to the people I love.
Authenticity is important to you.
Oh yeah. Integrity, authenticity.
Even if it's not pretty.
Right. Yeah. It often is not pretty, friend.
Hey, welcome to our brains. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to get your notes on any before we go to the next question? Because I'm prepared for this.
I think we touched on most of it, just the, like, being willing to do the emotional and intimate work inside, right? Like, why do I show up in that way? And the huge conversation I'm having with the kids too, right? Like, so this is the connection, right? Like, I do the things so I can show up in a certain way for my kids, right? And teach them.
And because the hope is what? If you show up in this way for the kids, what's the hope?
I would like to say that they show up like good humans, but so they feel good about themselves, Yeah.
I want the world to hear this. And this is my big mantra on parenting. I love hanging out with Luke and Elliot. We went in a car for 2 hours, one way, 2 hours back, and we spent time together at the car show, and I enjoyed all of it.
Yeah.
That's because of the parenting that you're doing. Certainly Elliot had some other other influence.
Right.
But it's not that way with all kids.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so your work matters.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Like, I love hanging out with Luke. Yeah. I told Luke to come up here. You were here. I'm like, come up and get something. Yeah. He came down with nothing. I'm like, what's wrong with you, kid? But he's a cool kid. And Elliot, is coming to my office on campus, and we have this thing now. He's leaving me notes. Not all kids do that.
Right.
And that's creating that social emotional skill set that is immensely powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are a safe person to, like, for me to convey to Elliot, right? Like, that is your touchstone. Right? Like, that is the person that you check in with, right? Because you go out in the world. We all go out in the world, right? And we have to put these masks on in order to participate in certain situations, right? But we need places to come back and know that we're real,
Interesting.
The thing that I'm trying to convey the most, right, is we get to these places of crises, like that's the term we're using with the kids, right? Sure. It's a little more therapeutic, where we step outside of our own morals and values, right? We show up in a way we don't want to, right? So what coping skills, like thinking about the iceberg, right? It's up here, but you step down a little bit, and what are the coping skills that are going to help me not get to this point, right? But if I don't know how to identify the feelings that got me to, like, so we're stepping
What's at the core.
Right. So that's where I always try to work myself backwards in that way for myself. Yeah. Right. For the kids and say the things out loud. Luke is now at an age where it's a little bit easier to have like some direct conversation with him. And listen, kids know way more than you give them credit for. They're listening. They're listening.
They're watching.
And
they're soaking it all in.
You and I have this conversation often that if you're not having the conversations with your kids, somebody is, right?
Yeah.
Or their peers are telling them what to think, right? Like, they're making sense of a world that oftentimes we as adults don't know how to make sense of.
And our behavior.
Right.
The behavior of the adults.
Boy, I get to say a lot of times with my kids, like, here's my opinion. This is what I think. This is what I know. But there's a lot that I don't know about this, you know.
There's a vulnerability in that, isn't there?
Oh, gosh, absolutely.
That teaches them that it's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
All right, let's move to the next question.
Okay, let's do it.
How have your experiences with loss and recovery shaped the way you show up as a mom to Luke? And we can add Elliot now and that's if you want to. But also as a public health professional serving our community.
This question and the next question were so they're so integrated together that I tried my best to think about them separately. But really they've changed entirely and yet not at all. It feels deeper than, what I already had previously known. Somewhat more urgent in some aspects. I think the recovery piece and the God piece for me has, shifted and grown. And I've been in recovery for a little while now. And so there's been this.
For our viewers, how long?
I will have 15 years January 2nd.
Oh, man.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Long time.
Anyhow, so there's been a lot of rinse and repeat, right? And come back and edit my life, if you will,
yeah,
we're taking that sentence out. We're going to add this sentence here. We're taking this, whatever. And so it's just another aspect of that, really. Ryan and I were always very intentional about the way we were raising Luke, right from the get-go. He and I had conversations like that. We sat at this, there was this recovery event, and I was like at a tabling thing. I don't even remember what I was giving away. But there had been, a break, and I was, sitting there by myself. People were off doing their thing, and Ryan had come and sat with me, and we sat there and played 20 questions. Like, we'd met multiple times and hung out.
This is pre-Luke?
Oh yeah, pre-Luke.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you dating?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All
That's
right.
what
So
makes
that's
what makes it so funny. And we sat there and we played 20 questions, and like serious 20 questions. Like, what do you want to do with your life?
Yeah.
How do you want?
How many
kids do you want? Where do you want to live?
Yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
what
wow.
kind of community do you want to be in?
He came up and started this conversation, or did you?
Unclear. There was lots of
sure
excitement going on.
Yeah. Okay. I could see him. I could see this.
Yeah. Ryan.
Yep.
He wasn't afraid to ask the questions and do the things, and it was always like that for us. Like, he and I both knew the things about our past that we did and didn't like. And through the course of our relationship, right? Like, it wasn't going in the complete opposite direction that was the right way, right? It was sifting through the things and growing and changing in that way. And so I've definitely always tried to keep that in my mind. And also, Ryan died 2 weeks after Luke turned 8. There's so much of Ryan that Luke doesn't remember in the forefront of his mind. Like, as an adult, you think about how many memories do you have before you were 8. And thank God for technology, because I have endless videos and pictures and and
interesting. Yeah.
And it's led to some very interesting conversations and shaping Luke's own self-esteem and those things. And for me, not that I'm the mom and the dad idea, right? But like, I parent for both of us, right? Like, I'm gonna cry. Like, that's my amends to Ryan, like, Luke was his biggest pride and joy, and it feels like a big, it feels heavy sometimes. I feel a huge responsibility to it, and I would do it 100 times over.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's Johnny's flag. He was a stepdad, but he was the one dad that gave a shit, and he died of cancer at a young age. And, that's my common thread with Luke is, I didn't lose my biological father. But yeah, he was 8. And it did just make me think, how great is it that we have technology and we have the ability to bring those memories back for him. I think that'll be really cool for him.
Yeah.
And he's shining down on you. He's shining down on you because you haven't Rebekah, you've been intentional. You use these words, you've been intentional about bringing people in,
Yeah.
Whether it's me or Andy or James or other men that you kind of handpick, if I use that word, that you say that you can trust to be around your son and, not replace.
Right.
Me and Luke have had very small conversations about grief and loss, and he just knows that I'm here. But my only goal is, I've shared with him, and I'm just with him when I'm with him.
Yeah.
But you've created that for him.
Yeah.
And you are, yeah, you're kind of the dad and the mom in a lot of ways, but your mom.
Yeah. There's definitely times where I know there's things I can't talk about, I don't have the right equipment.
Sure.
Listen,
yeah.
Luke wasn't talking about puberty at 8 o'clock, at 8 years old. So we've had some of those conversations where, but I've said, right, like we have trusted men in our lives, that like, these are the people that you ask about those things. These are the safe people to do those things, Luke is my biggest amends to Ryan, to myself, to society, which, prior to 15 years ago, I created some wreckage. So, I mean, that ties into the personal aspect of it too, right? Where the public health, the live, work, and play health, is so important to me. Like it's not just a passion per se, but like it's integrated into me. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love saying this and seeing it and feeling it and being part of it. You're breaking generational cycles.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yes. Boy, yes. And, I'm endlessly proud of my own mom, right? Yeah. Like the conversations that she and I have had since me being in recovery, the shifts and the growth that she has had because of the work that she's been willing to put in herself, right? It's endlessly amazing. Like, and she and I recently had a really good conversation about, I'm adopted. And I do know my biological parents. And for me, like there's so many different, moving parts and pieces of that. And to have mom that I have like support me through all of those different aspects and what that looks like and the weird feelings that come up from those things, because I've never met a person who was adopted that didn't have some sort of cellular feeling about that, and so to have a relationship that's supportive and loving and caring in that way is huge, and that takes a strong person. That takes a strong person. It's good.
Okay, your final question, I guess I would say hard question. The last two are a little lighter. But this one's actually a good one. I like this one. Friendship and community have been a big part of your healing. Monumental, I would say, right? What role has connection played in helping you rebuild or even say just continue your life in a way that feels meaningful?
Everything and nothing at all. Like really. I think everything that I said for the last question, but it's everything. Connection is everything. It's challenging, since Ryan passed, and I kind of touched on this in the beginning, right? It being, middle-aged, and having so many plans ahead of us, since that 20 question session, it was not one kid. One kid was not the answer. I'm from a large family. I wanted lots of children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wanted lots of children. And I talked Ryan into 3. That was our number.
Okay, I didn't know that. Do you think that could ever happen for you again?
Unclear, friend. Yeah, unclear.
Does dating ever come up for you?
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Lots of people have opinions on what I should be doing with my romantic life.
Oh, I say let's go.
So does everybody else,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
intention
Okay.
behind that as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Go on. So the changing of life plans.
Right. So the changing of life plans, right, and accepting that, and that goes into the strength, right? Like I don't get to lay down and die with the person to die. Right? Like I'm alive, right? And so learning to celebrate the moments that need to be celebrated, looking for the glimmers. I love that you share the little, like, the funny plants or the things, right? Because that's how my brain works, right? I'm looking for those little moments throughout my day that I celebrate. And, I learned to do, in 12-step, we have a 10-step inventory, right?
Yep.
And doing
Daily.
that, daily 10-step inventory. And that means that at the end of the day, I get to look at my whole day, right? The good, the bad, the indifferent. I get to look at the places where maybe I stepped out of my morals and values, and now I owe an amends to that person or to myself, or, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Right. But even looking at a doctorate now moving forward, right. Like, that wasn't the intention. And yet I feel an immense amount of excitement around it. And there's going to be, lots of moving pieces and parts and sacrifices. And there are certain things I'm not willing to sacrifice that other people do, but it's because of the intention and the things that I've learned about connection to my kid, to my community, that I won't sacrifice, those things. It's learning to feel more than two things at one time. More than two or three things at once.
And that's okay.
Right.
There's a lot of good.
And being okay with
Yeah.
it, right? Like it's the Thanksgiving where, like the grief is so heavy and, like it's dragging, like what do they say? The concrete shoes, and preparing food for this many people and feeling enjoyment, feeling love, like watching people eat and enjoy it. And it's
Still having some grief.
Oh God, absolutely having the grief, it's the after everybody goes and I'm left alone and the kids, want to hang out and do their own thing. And then, I take a walk through the neighborhood and I, give myself a moment to feel like, oh my God, is it always going to feel like this? Like 5 years later. And I have been reflecting recently on this 5th year journey through this, that, if somebody had told me in those early days that at 5 years, that it was going to feel like that, boy, right. I don't know if I would have made it, friend.
Yeah. we just
becomes
decorate.
Easier to carry.
It does. We just
in a different way
for Christmas. Yeah. And I pulled out this thing that my mom had made. You might have saw it.
I loved it.
And it gives me sadness, but also happiness. And you can have both feelings at the same time.
Two things.
I think you've said that a few times through this talk, that it's okay to feel. Yeah. It's okay to have multiple feelings. It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
Right? Which is powerful. And
doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
All the time.
It
doesn't have to be.
No.
It's not going to be perfect all the time.
It's not Instagram perfect.
No.
Right?
No. I often say, that's funny you bring that up, because that's the people who don't necessarily know me like directly or intimately, right? Like it's easy to watch on Facebook. Sure. And one of those books, early on described this idea of, generational grief processing, right? And how, this is where the modeling for the kids comes in, right? Like she talks about think about how your mom processed grief, like, and different. Then her mom, right? Yeah. Like it was often this, you show up at this place, and you maybe cry a little bit, and then you come
move
back
on,
right?
Yeah,
right.
You don't talk about it,
right? And that's not real. That's not real. Yeah. There was a lot of suppression or denial or whatever you want. And so what I've been really intentional about is like sharing my journey as authentically as I can with the world, with those around me in recovery, with other people at work, right? Like it comes up everywhere you go, right? Everybody's touched by grief, but above all with my children, with Luke. Like,
have you ever thought of writing?
I do, yeah. You kind of sparked some of that, and I'm really glad that you had brought up the digital journaling, because
Yeah.
I have handwritten journals, as you saw,
Mm-hmm.
but the digital journal thing has been really helpful to kind of just
Mm-hmm.
continue talk to text, get it out a little bit faster, or be more consistent in that way.
Authenticity with Dr. Moon.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Right.
Final two questions. And this is your opportunity. You can look right in the camera to give, let's say, another woman maybe who is walking through the heavy, heavy grief of having just lost a spouse. Maybe a young lady who's walking her journey in recovery, or a single mom. But this is your opportunity to give some hope. So what's a message of hope you would give someone who's listening, who is facing loss, or just a season of life that they never expected, that I could never imagine moment? They're in it. What's your message of hope?
I had to laugh at this one. I really hate this question now. It's a love-hate thing.
Yeah.
I'm exploring more why that is, because I think there's I oftentimes struggle with the underinflated ego, not the over. So it's the less than. I'm nobody. I'm not a hero. There's no stoicism. Like, I'm nobody special, right? I'm just like everybody else.
But
And
what would you say? What would you say to a single mom who just lost her husband right now suddenly?
I would say take the time, right? Do the things that matter to you right now. Do the things that you think would matter to them, right? Live the best qualities of them, the things that you loved about them. There's so many layers to grief that to continue to live, it's a challenge, right? Showing up anyways, even when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to, right? I often talk to Elliot about that, right? Elliot has gone through this huge life change. And he's come leaps and bounds, and there are days when he doesn't want to show up, and we get to say, like, do it anyways, and he does sometimes, and he doesn't. And the weird thing about grief, or beginning of recovery, is that the world keeps turning.
Yeah, it does.
Even though your life is falling apart or building together, right? It feels, you have to make it here, right? Where's the heart of it? What matters in those moments? Like, how do you sit with yourself?
So let me say this, say just as structurally as you can, what were those key things? And we said this earlier, but maybe just say it again to give some hope to someone out here who's walking through this. What are those key things that you did that you found helpful?
Be scared, anxious, depressed, grieving, do it anyways.
So feel.
Yeah.
And then what were some other things that you did? Like, whether it's bring people in or journal or whatever it was, what did you do?
I think it was all the things. One of the things that I carry in 12-step, right? They talk about the sides to this pyramid, and life is life in general, right? You could say grief, but it's life in general. It's love. It's multifaceted. Think about the different facets of your marriage, or relationships at all. Like, there's so many different layers, and you have to have both sides to be true, and I think the thing that comes back around for me, and this is why I struggle with this question, David, is because it's so different for every person, right? And this has been such a spiritual...
Grief doesn't fit in a box, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
For me, it's been this huge spiritual picture to get to a place to really believe if there is a time for birth and growth, there has to be a time for death.
Yeah.
I can't have this and all of this joyous, gracious, green, lush, fun stuff without a time for death. I have to honor both sides of it, you know?
All right. Before we go to the question you're going to ask me.
Okay.
And I'm glad I thought of this because I thought of it earlier. What are the things you are going to suggest for people not to do? What are things that are not helpful?
Oh, boy.
When someone loses someone suddenly? What are those things that made you go internally, oh my God, why did you say that? Or please, what would you suggest people not do?
Make assumptions.
Yeah.
Don't make assumptions.
Yeah.
I will say that the biggest growth I've had in relationships or the deeper intimacy I've had in certain relationships is because people have not made assumptions, because they have come to me and have said XYZ, right? My favorite example is our friend Katie. Mm-hmm. And her husband is a truck driver now. Mm-hmm. And she has come to me directly multiple times and said, I feel like ashamed or scared or whatever it is to say, like, I miss my husband, or I'm really sad about my husband being gone because he's going to come back.
Oh, right.
And it's afforded me an opportunity to say, like, that's true for you, friend. And I want to be a friend to you and support you in those moments and love you where you're at, because it's been both ways, right? Like, I had times in my relationship where, Ryan was construction, like we spent whole summers apart. Or when I moved back to Ellensburg, I moved with Luke without Ryan. Yeah. Like, Ryan didn't move here with us immediately, and there may be a time in my future that happens again. And morbidly, there may be a time in the future where she's in my position, or any one of my other relationships. The folks who've come in and have, made the assumptions about where I should be in my romantic relationship, or where I should be in my career, or, any one of those other things, or who have made assumptions that you have to tiptoe around my feelings or my kids' feelings or whatever it is, and haven't come and said the things out loud. Like, that's where there's not space for intimacy.
So authenticity.
Absolutely.
With kindness, if I were to,
maybe
think before. Maybe, yeah, right?
I'm not going to say that, because that doesn't happen. What's the saying that honesty without compassion is still brutality?
Yeah, something
or
like
something
that.
To that effect, right? Like,
yeah, people say, well, that's just who I am. I'm brutally honest. I'm like, are you? Or are you just mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
Okay. Well, with that.
Okay, let's see. I feel good about my question, I think.
Okay. Oh, boy. Here we go. This is where I get a little nervous every time. Oh, good. So you were nervous in the beginning.
Right.
What is a question you've always wanted to ask me?
Okay.
Oh.
I've heard a lot about your story and read your book, but what I haven't heard you talk much about is how you got to a place of wanting a doctorate degree. People like you and me don't set out to do things like that.
Oh, yeah.
When did you realize that's what you were going to do? What helped get you through? What helped get you started, get you through to the end? Yeah. What kind of self-care did you do along the way? What, supports? You like to talk about resources, routines, whatever. Yeah. And then did that change throughout, right? Okay. Yep.
No, good question. So it wasn't part of my plan. Sure. I always say when I came back to Central in 2009, it was just to get a piece of paper, a bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. It was actually advising that got me into a master's program. Mm-hmm. And then I fell in love with teaching. And I didn't know a lot about academia, and how all these structures work in higher education, academia, and all of that. I don't even think I really had any idea about how to earn. I'm sure I didn't, become doctor such and such. Sure. But it was when I started teaching in IT management that I had colleagues Bob Lupton, Bob Trumpy, Lori Braunstein, they started saying this thing of, David, you should terminate your degree. And I'm like, what? Am I getting fired? What's terminate?
What
and
does
that's
that mean?
Yeah, that's what I was like. You go all the way and you become Dr. such and such. And so it was like, because I was like, and then it was actually my neighbor, Chris, who he moved to San Diego, but he was a teacher, a high school teacher, and him and I used to ride motorcycles together. And somehow we started the conversation about going back to school because he had a master's degree. And
he was also thinking about it.
He was thinking about it.
Okay. All right.
So then it was was I going to travel somewhere? So I decided to do it completely online.
Sure.
So I don't know if you know this. Him and I started together. The first quarter, I quit. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want any school. And so then it was almost a year. I think it was a year later, I started again because that's how once I start something, I'm like, and Katrina, of course, huge supporter and anyone in my world. And then and to get to a tenure track position, you have to have a doctor. You have to have terminated your degree. And so there was that. And so there's kind of my why.
Yeah.
And of course, wow, could I become Dr. D? Crazy. Did I believe it could happen? No.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Every step of the way, it's like, ooh, am I smart enough, capable enough, blah, blah. But I still do it anyway. So then I started again. And the journey, the first 3 years, I think it was, as classes wasn't real difficult. It's, it's like you're still in school, you're doing it. And I was working full time. Yeah, there was some of that.
Yeah.
And then for me, that part wasn't real difficult. It was actually fairly easy in that I just had to stay to it. Dissertation phase, different story. That was really painful. And it was painful. You hear that, but for me, one, doing it completely online, I didn't have connection.
Yeah.
And I really value connection.
Yeah.
And my chair of my committee, she was fair. Communication was not good. I value good communication. But anyway, so I started going once I was doing this no matter what. And so that started going through that process. And I say this to scholars now in this program who are going to, your topic and that's all going to evolve and change. But I struggled with that.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with change because I have this idea.
Right.
And as we're talking about grief and loss, there were 5 phases for me for my dissertation. And I think I was in phase 2 or phase 3, and Mom went into hospice care. And that was, I took a quarter off when Mom passed. But then I remember that's what motivated me when Mom passed. And I'm like, I got to do this for Mom. That kind of gave me that final push. So supports were my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think of Katrina, of course. I think of my son. I think of Jay. I think of Andreas Bowman on campus, Bob Trumpy on, just these people, you and me are that same, and that my people are my thread that keep me, because I quit multiple times. Yeah. But I quit temporarily.
Right.
And then I'll never forget the day. It was COVID. It was the month the world shut down that I
March
got
2020.
Yep. Yeah. I got the email. I'm done.
Oh gosh.
I'm done. I cried. We were at the Fifth Avenue house, and I got the text from my chair. Yeah. Who says you have passed, and I got chills, and I just wept. For a kid, So there you go. Right. Yeah. It was a journey. Yeah. One that I lovingly and jokingly and kind of seriously say I don't recommend. Right. Buckle up. Right. But also in that, I use this now that I can get through hard things.
Right. Well, and to sit here now, right? I mean, I just said it at the beginning and joke about like a highly educated woman, right? But it's a funny thing to sit here and say that, like, I'm no different than anybody else, right? Like, there wasn't a clear pathway for me to even get to the place that I'm at now, right? And it's nice to hear you say those things, because it's right, like,
I'm just a guy,
right?
I think what a lot of people in recovery have, and I try to help people in early recovery to motivate them, like, we can do things. Like, I spent a lot of time waiting for drugs. Like, I was really fucking patient.
I was dedicated to a lot of the wrong things,
right? and when you shift that, and the stuff that I've been through in my life, like I say dissertation, but I've been through things in my life. Like, I'll go through things now. Like, I think maybe you can do this now, and using that tragedy of losing Ryan, that I've been through some things. I can get through this.
Oh, for sure.
And I do that now, like writing grants or doing some of the other work I do in the world. You know, I've done a dissertation. I can do this.
Right. One of the things that came up in the thinking, and I watch you do this in thinking about some of the questions in public health thinking and educational background, is the ecological model. I don't know if you've ever seen that, right?
Yes.
Like, it's from the center out. And my thinking is always very much that, right? And it's not that I'm at the center, but it's very, small, anyways, I could go on about that, but that's the ripple effect that people talk about, right? And it starts with a small decision, right? Showing up to class even when I
doing the work. This has been
That's
good.
cool.
Okay, this is the time where I put that there.
Okay.
We hug.
Oh,
because we've never done that.
only all the time.
Thank you for joining me.
You're very welcome.
This has been great. Thanks for listening to Deep Dive with Dr. D. You can follow me on my other social media channels by clicking the link in the description.